Hello there. Thanks very much for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and here's a Rolling Stones ticket stub from their mid-60s prime, 1966, in the California city of San Bernardino, July 24th, the summer of 1966. And San Bernardino, of course, is a special, even though it's a small town in California, relatively speaking, say compared to Los Angeles, it holds a special place in Stones folklore because that exact town, and as a matter of fact, this exact auditorium, is where the Rolling Stones performed their very first American concert ever back in June of 1964 on their very small American tour of just a few dates back then. So here we have, from 2 years later, Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino, California, a ticket stub that granted has seen its better days. It's pretty much discolored there on the front. As you can see, something like a water stain took away perhaps 40% of the color on the front. And on the back, it's also somewhat torn. It was put into a scrapbook and so forth. But still, it's an artifact. Whoops, it's it's an original piece of memorabilia from the Stones when they were, Mother's Little Helper, I think, was the current hit single at the time of this show. So it's really fun to have. In fact, let's see just how far I can move this thing in, Sorry about the wobble there, but, it's smallish, but it's really a nicely intact stub and just looks really cool. But let's talk about this mystery date thing. That's what's just crazy about this. Now, all of the how shall I put this? Bill Wyman, of course, the bass player for the Stones, was the archivist for the band and the documentarian to the nth degree. He just kept journals and track of everything. Bill Wyman, the bass player. And he's published 2 major tomes, if you will, about the very subject, just full of detail. And both of Bill Wyman's books, and I've got them right here to show you. Stone Alone was a great book. It came out in 1990, very detailed and full of all of his romantic exploits, by the way, as well. And then a dozen years later, he puts out this beautiful, huge coffee table book just stuffed with original, posters and tickets and postcards and photos and incredible detail about studio sessions and about the Stones tours and everything. And he gets this date wrong. He calls July 24th of 66. He says the Stones played 2 shows in Bakersfield. But as you can see by this ticket, and I got it from somebody who went to the show, absolute irrefutable, is that the right word? Unrefutable proof that the Stones played an afternoon show down in San Bernardino. And you know what's weird is that once Bill Wyman, I guess he's considered such an authority, once he published it, it's amazing you went 12 years and still published the wrong fact. Nobody pointed it out. Other books, other big Stones, Rolling Stones books, coffee table books and so forth, perpetuated the mistake. How about Wikipedia? Wikipedia still shows this date as 2 shows in Bakersfield, which was 2.5 hours to the north, but nope, it was a 2 p.m. show in San Bernardino, and then again, the band traveled north on wheels 2.5 hours to do the evening show in Bakersfield, California. So that's just, that's a pretty crazy thing, pretty crazy mistake. And you might say to yourself, well, wait a minute, 2 different cities on the same date? Heck, the Beatles did it all the time, and even the Stones. How's this? The day before this, July 23rd of 66, they played the afternoon show in Salt Lake City, Utah, and the evening show, not just in another city, but another state. That's right, the evening show was in Phoenix, Arizona. So that was all planned, and this was planned too, apparently, but somehow Wyman just totally, overlooked it on the itinerary, and the mistake's been perpetuated that both shows were in Bakersfield. So that's kind of crazy. A lot of Rolling Stones collectors and ticket collectors, therefore, going by Bill Wyman's word, maybe checking it out on Wikipedia to be sure, 2 different Bill Wyman books, other Rolling Stones books, they wouldn't know to collect this ticket, would they? They would just figure, okay, July 24th, I've got a Bakersfield stub, I've got that town covered on that tour. But no, there's a missing spot in the itinerary, so, they're going to have to scramble after an afternoon show in San Bernardino, for the completist collector who wants to get all the stubs, which a lot of Beatles and Stones fans and so forth do. So, and as for the stub itself, this, how shall we put this? Okay, the water stain notwithstanding, it pretty much has everything else going for it, kind of everything you want in a ticket stub. stub. I mean, it's got the full Rolling Stones name on it because it was torn so cleanly along the perforation, so there's not just some big, diagonal tear, and you get the roll, and that's all. That's the way a lot of ticket stub used to work. So you get the full Stones name, you get the full date on there with the year. You don't always get the year on these tickets. Venue, of course, the Swing Auditorium, and the city, San Bernardino. You got the ticket price on there. You got a radio station plug, which is always fun. And then, of course, you've got the trifecta seat information where you've got the section, row, and seat number. So it's a pretty darn intact stub for that reason, or I should say a very informational stub. And I love the block printing. It just really sort of, gives you all the information, everything that happened for the Stones on that date. But boy, is that a mystery? Is that really weird about that, San Bernardino versus Bakersfield mix-up? I guess if Wyman's going to do a third book, we can look forward to a correction. And maybe 10 minutes after this video hits, Wikipedia will get corrected. I don't know, but I don't do Wikipedia changes myself, but I hope a Stones fan sees this. By the way, the internet giveth and it also taketh away, or vice versa. There is actually, I just made extra sure, there is a Stones fan website on the internet that does say the two different cities on this date, and they show another ticket from San Bernardino on this date, not mine, another ticket to make their point. So, the accurate information is to be found if you look hard enough. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.